morning, good morning, good morning. How is everybody? I should say God morning because it's a bright, beautiful day outside. We all awake, and y'all are tuned in to me. Yay, me. Anyway, how is everybody? This your girl, Lady Blue of the Lady Blue Radio Show, and I am so excited to be here on my debut show. I'm sitting up here holding on to the desk, y'all, for dear life. My fingers, my knuckles, all that good stuff. But I'm happy to be here. I'm grateful for this opportunity, and I hope y'all stick around for the entire show and beyond. We got a lot going on today. We're going to have some fun. We're going to talk. We're going to laugh. We're going to sing. We might even get up and dance. Who knows? You know, y'all won't be able to see that, but that's okay. Other than that, I want to first start off my show, ladies and gentlemen, by dedicating it to a friend of mine who passed away this last month from thyroid cancer. She was a dear friend of mine, and her name was Carrie Houston. And I'm going to tell y'all the truth. At first, we didn't like each other, but we grew to like each other. We took care of each other, and that was my heart, and it hurt a lot for her to go, but, you know, she decided that it was time to leave the cancer treatment alone and let the Lord have his way. So, Carrie, this is for you, all my 505 crew back in Albuquerque. I hope you're listening. Love to our girl, Carrie, and fly with the angels. Anyway, let's get to the show. Ladies and gentlemen, I had to introduce somebody who is a real friend, a real supporter, laugh, joke, cry, talk, act silly, whatever you want to call it. But he's been with me since get-go. He was my first article when I first did my first website, and he's been very supportive with all the information, everything that has to go with this, and I'm going to introduce y'all to the man you all know and love. That's right, Edigga of the Charm City Direct radio show is here with me today. Edigga, how you doing?
I'm good. Thanks for having me. I wouldn't say all of that. Just gave you some tidbits.
You know, I just the fanfare.
We're going to get some clapping.
There you go. Got to get it in there somehow, some way. Yeah, I told y'all we were going to be silly in here.
This is just the start.
Yes. And we just going to let it flow today. I'm going to let y'all know we're not going to just talk about music, trends, community. We're going to dig in a little bit deeper to Edigga. What makes Edigga tick? That's what we're going to do today. We're going to find out about the man you all know and love, and why y'all love him. Shall we do that?
Yeah.
Okay. You over there scared now. Okay.
I'm shaking. I was cool just a minute ago.
No, it's all good. We just, get your view on some topics and some things that are near and dear to my heart, which you know about. One of those being domestic violence.
Yes.
Get your view on domestic violence because I am a domestic violence survivor. I am a domestic violence advocate. Yes. And I take a stand against domestic violence. So I'm going to get your take on that from the man's point of view. We always get the woman's point of view, but we never hear from the man. So you the man today.
I am the man.
You are the man. Not the man, but the man.
The man.
There you go. There we go. Gotta get it straight. So Edigga, tell the listeners a little bit more about you.
Well, first and foremost, thank you for having me on the show. Mm-hmm. And I just want to say one thing that was dear on my heart when I started radio. Is to just go out and do it. A lot of people do not seize the opportunity to do it. So a little bit about me. I am, I host a online radio show right here on WMSK Online Radio called the Charm City Direct Radio Show. And I started about 3-4 years ago. Right now it's the award-winning show. Pretty much it's basically a show to expose talent. And when I say talent, I'm not just talking about the typical music or typical entertainment. Business owners, community leaders, organizers, the whole shebang. I try to get these people in here to let Baltimore know who these people are. And the reason being is these people, the artists, business owners, they have a hard time trying to get their name out there. Mm-hmm. So I created a platform to make it a little easier for them, financially and airtime wise for radio, and creating Charm City Direct Radio Show, that was the prime objective. And of course, you just don't start out in radio. I started with a app called Spreaker, or a website called Spreaker. I took random topics, dwelled on those topics, but then that little voice in my head said, "Hey E, this is not enough. You need more."
Right.
And that's when the idea of doing a whole full-fledged radio show. And of course, my first experience to find a home did not go well at all. But that was the motivation. I'm a go-getter. I think a no is the best thing you can say to me, because it makes me stronger. So I heard that no, and I went to another show. I stayed there for a significant amount of time, and then I came here to broaden the listener base, because my message, or these people, they needed to be heard.
Right.
So this is where I'm at.
Okay. Wrong with that. But when I first met you, we didn't know each other from Adam and Eve. No. We just happened to be in the same building at the same time.
Yes.
I shook his hand, he shook mine, and then it's like we just kept running into each other after that. But what makes Edigga tick? In that, I mean, what is the fire in your belly that makes you continue to seek out the unheard so they get heard?
I think what makes me tick, on my motivation, is to see people prosper.
Okay.
Like I said, it's hard trying to get your name out there. So that was one. Like I said, that was one of the influences. How can I bring this person to the forefront, or help bring this person to the forefront? I think that's my motivation, to see someone happy, to see someone in their business or respective career path, to get that name out there, get that business out there. You would be surprised if you walk down the street and you pass a door, and you constantly keep passing that door, and that door stands out, and you go into that door one day, and it's a whole full clothing boutique, or lemonade stand inside of a house. You would never know that until you go in there. So that what intrigues me about big businesses and small businesses, the artists, mainstream and underground artists, dancers, poets. So I think the overall motivation for me, of what makes Edigga tick, is to see that person happy in what they do, and just try to get some people to know who that person is.
Okay.
And constantly keep, doing that.
Okay. So we got the fire in the belly.
Yes.
We got the dream, because you saw the door and you went in the door.
Yes.
Okay. So the dream now is the vision.
Yes.
Okay. So you say I'm taking you on a little stair climbing mission here. The dream is now vision.
Yes.
So when you saw the vision, and were you open to everything that was coming with the vision? In other words, the ups, the downs, the ins, the outs, the highs, the lows.
Definitely.
The dark moments, the shining moments.
Definitely.
Were you open to all of those?
I do want to say one thing. This is not easy. Everybody thinks that, just because he's at an event, he's shaking hands, he's behind the mic, in front of the camera, everybody just assume that it's easy. It is not easy. You have to plan. You have to do research on the person that you're interviewing, the person that you're about to interview, so to speak. So to answer your question, yes, I had a long talk with myself and said, "Hey E, is this something you want to do?" But of course, it was a lot of times that I wanted to quit. You for all people know that.
Right.
I wanted to quit. I said, it's taking too long. People are so disrespectful. And when I say disrespectful, it's like you send them an email and take them days to respond.
Right.
But they are the obstacles that you have to face. You know, everything is not going to happen overnight. It's going to take time.
Right.
I'm 4 years in, so I'm still learning.
Right.
I'm still growing. I'm still networking every day. So it's not easy. And if anybody is doing this or about to do it, you have to accept the challenges. You got to first think about what does it take.
Right.
It takes more than just coming to the studio, getting on the mic, talk.
Right.
It takes more to pull out a camera, backdrop, lights. It takes much more than that. So yes, I had a long talk with myself, sat down and said, hey, E, look, it's going to be some difficult moments. Are you ready?
Mm-hmm.
And you just gotta face it and go for steam ahead.
You're right on that one. Okay, so now we've got the vision. So now we're in the reality stage.
Yes.
Where you're looking at everything and it's happening, and you're in that. Oh gosh, I can't really.
I'm still in the oh my gosh.
Because the blessings really come when you least expect it. We can plan all we want. You've heard the saying, you know, when you make a plan, God's laughing.
Yes.
Okay. So we can plan and plan and plan. We want to be at this event. We want to be at that event. We want to make sure to show face here. We want to make sure to show face there. But we all realize we all have lives. We can't show face everywhere.
Everywhere, yeah.
Okay. And just like you were just mentioning about an email and then take days to respond, I call that, you know, being the first at the door but the last to get to the train station.
Exactly.
Yes. So, you know, but your vision, to me, it makes perfect sense, because with underground versus mainstream media, what's your taking the difference on the two to an underground artist?
I think underground artists is trying to get to mainstream.
Mm-hmm.
Mainstream is already there.
Right.
They have no problem. I think if you're looking at dudes like artists like Jay-Z, Drake,
mm-hmm.
J. Cole, just to name a few.
Right.
And then you have artists like Baltimore Sun, Nico Bond.
Right.
The list goes on. Bryan Lyrics, who's trying to get to where Jay-Z, Drake,
mm-hmm. right.
and J. Cole is. I think that underground media, which is online radio or internet radio, we're the ones who have to put these underground dudes on to help shape them to get to mainstream, or get them mainstream ready.
Okay.
Per se.
Okay.
So, in a way, I mean, mainstream, it's okay, but you got to crawl before you walk,
right,
so to speak.
Right.
So that's my job, is to come in, you know, identify that person, see what that person is all about, and just help them along the way to get to possibly mainstream, or if they don't choose to go mainstream and stay underground, that's all fine too. But I think that if I had a hand in creating, putting that person on, or putting them out in Front Street, so to speak,
mm-hmm.
I did a justice.
Okay.
And I'm not one of those people who, oh yeah, remember when I got you on the radio show? I am not that person. I mean, you know, every now and then, hey, E, thanks. Okay, that's all I need, right there. So, but you would never hear me say at any given time, hey, remember I did this, or remember I did that.
Yeah.
I mean, a thank you for me goes a long way.
Right.
So.
I think thank you goes a long way for anybody. We don't hear enough of it.
Yes.
From a lot of people, it's just an expectation. It's just, you there, so just do it. Okay. You just say thank you. That's your job. Okay. But you get what you give.
Yes.
Okay. Thank you. Hey, how you doing? A hi. Okay. A hi. A smile. Anything like that. Okay. So we've got them. That they're looking at this, and I tend to use a lot of metaphors when I'm describing things. But again, you mentioned how people have the vision. They say, "Oh, I'm gonna be there. I'm gonna be there," but it's like being the, you know, you see the cake, the frosting, and all the decorations, but you didn't go in the kitchen and throw the flour in the bowl and the eggs over here and whip it up. And, you know, let it fall a couple times and let it get soggy in the middle, and, you know, throw the cake in the trash can and try again. And try again. I mean, that's what the process is. Because the same thing when I started, I was like, no, ain't nobody gonna listen to this. You gotta be kidding me. Wow. Yeah, there's so many people out there doing this. And it was people who I did not know. Not just my family, but people who I did not know who came up to me and said, no, go for it. You know, do you. Because you is different from anybody else out there. And that's what I find with you. You are different from anybody else out there because it's not your typical show. Yeah, we're listening and we're finding out about these people at the same time. We're laughing and we're goofing, and you know, you wonder, am I gonna be awake when this finished? Because I'm asleep right now. I just came off night shift, but
wow.
And I even had a Red Bull yet. It's sitting in my backpack.
Wow.
But
she gonna crack it open on
I'm gonna
break.
crack that thing open on break. But that's something that I agree with you on. That people want the finished product without the work.
Exactly.
And even this day and age, it's the same thing, not necessarily in what we're doing, being on the radio, it's in any profession. Mm-hmm. People want to walk in and say, yeah, you're going to pay me that amount of money, but I'm going to sit over here in the corner and act like I'm not here and still getting the paycheck. Or excuse me, pain check. Did I just say pain check?
That's a new word, everybody.
That's a new word. A paid check. You know, at the 2-week period for what? You said Uncle Sam still got his hand down. Okay, but leave Uncle Sam alone. This just, it intrigues me because when I see someone like yourself going for what they know, and you have no idea what the trail has ahead of you.
Yes. You
just know what you know in where you've been and what you've put your foot in, and you know how you danced around in it or stepped in it or however you want to put it. Mm-hmm. But when you move on to the next one, is that it's never the same interview. I've noticed one lady, it's never the same interview. It may be someone that's doing music, maybe someone that's in the same realm of music or business, but they're all doing something different. And I think that's what's intriguing, is that you don't go out and you don't find the same cookie cutter in underground, because underground is a big playground.
It is very big.
And just like you said, poetry, music, fashion designers, painters, photographers. You know, that's not even scratching the list with what's out there, because there's a lot going on out there. You got young people that are running for political offices. You got young people, and that's another thing that's really strong, is getting the youth out there, letting them know, please get involved. Get involved, because to sit back and say, I'm not gonna vote, you know, what good is that gonna do me? You don't get involved, how you gonna sit up there and say, well, I don't like this?
And it's funny that you say that, Lady Blue, because now we have a legitimate reason to think that. Mm-hmm. If you do not like Donald Trump, here's your time, or here's your moment to make a difference.
I told you I didn't want to talk about politics,
sorry.
but I led myself into that. You
walked right into
that. Yes,
that.
I did. Open the doorstep wide, too.
Gotcha. Gotcha.
But yeah, you have a voice, and whether it's using the platform we're on, out on the street, a flyer, email, in an office, on the phone, on the computer, wherever you're at, you have a voice. And be grateful for the platform that you're given.
Yes.
Okay? Because even, you know, just knowing somebody, you know, always they say it's not what you do, it's who you know.
It's who you know. Exactly.
Okay? But it's also what you do with who you know.
Okay.
Okay, so let's put the two together. What you do with who you know. Because if you separate the two, you ain't going to do anything.
Exactly.
Okay? And that is important to, or to me at least, when I'm looking at these things. Now, how do you, because you know Lady Blue's all about the positive.
Yes.
Bring out the positive in Baltimore. How do you bring the positive out when you're doing what you do?
I bring it up the positive just by people seeing who I'm interviewing.
Okay.
As you know, the radio show, Charm City, CCDRS, I don't have profanity. And when people see that, and when artists see that, you know, it's right coming in the door. It's no cursing.
Right.
I'm not ashamed to admit this. I curse like a sailor, but I know how to cut it on and cut it off.
Right.
So the positive, it always comes out during the show, whether it's Charm City Direct TV or Charm City Direct Radio Show. And people like that, you know, having an interview without profanity, I would say is good.
Some people don't know how to deal with that.
Yeah.
They really don't.
They struggle with it.
Yes, they do.
I gotta stop cussing for a day. No.
Yeah, whole 24 hours. What you gonna do with that?
Beads of sweat. Popping like.
I'm only 2 minutes in. I gotta hold another 24 hours and 56 minutes to go. But yeah, because I feel it can be done without the profanity.
Yes,
I mean, you're gonna have your occasional, you know, heck darn crud. Okay.
There you go.
It's gonna come out.
It's gonna come out. I've slipped up a couple of times.
Okay, but it doesn't have to be every other word.
Exactly.
That's the whole point. And I've been surprised by the bevy of artists that are out there that don't. They say, we're not gonna do that. Let's speak of our girl, Jay the Lioness.
Yes. Jay
the Lioness. Another one is Phrase 410. Phrase 410. They don't need a single cuss word. You can listen to their music and just drop right in on you. My 9-year-old listens to Jay the Lioness.
Yes.
What does that tell you? That's youth influence. And it's without the degrading and the derogatory statements that have been made a lot in music
Or
today.
a limited vocabulary. I've learned that. Somebody told me a long time ago that when people use profanity a lot, I'm talking like every other word, they have a very limited vocabulary. And, you know, I tell people quick, you know, it's a clean show. Your music gotta be clean.
Go get Webster's.
Yeah, exactly. You gotta learn
Read up on it.
substitutes for them curse words.
Yes.
But it all depends on, or it proves a point almost to test the artist, or not necessarily the artist. It's a lot of people, poets, business owners, foul mouth.
Right. But you're testing the person. It's not so much
testing the
what
person,
they do.
exactly.
You're testing the person.
You're testing the person
Because you're hitting them at their real level.
Exactly.
Okay? Because you have to ask yourself, you go home like that? When you open the door, is that what you do? It's like, man, do you get through dinner with that? Does the fork reach your mouth before you have to say
He mad at breakfast. No.
Oh my goodness, yes. But I applaud you for that. That's where I'm coming from. I don't want to hear it. I don't want to see it. You should see my kids at home. This thing, Mama. If I slip, you say, "Ooh, Mama, who you mad at?"
Exactly. Yeah.
I'm not mad at anybody but myself. You know, but it's the point. How you think and how you, so what you surround, not how, but what you surround yourself, who you surround yourself with,
Yes.
and what you will and won't allow in your life. It carries over. And I appreciate you for that.
Thank you.
For not having any cuss words on your show.
Hey, now I can't sit here and say that, you know, it was times where the music did not have cuss words, the person did not have cuss words, cursing in the speech.
They said a bad word.
They said it slipped. Okay. I can honestly they slipped, everybody.
Whoop, banana peel. Okay.
Yes. But it's something that's always been, I think the first show, the first and second show, curse. Church member called. Is that you cursing like that,
baby? Why
yes.
are you doing that? Okay.
And I knew exactly who it was. And I said, I'm sorry, live on the air, second show. And right after that, the next show, hey, this is
and
a
then
clean
you
show.
just see the magnification of everything when you don't need that.
Exactly.
When you drop the negativity.
And it was nothing but God. To tell that church member to call. I gave out the number and everything. She called. And then she cussing like that. Yes.
Was that your personal Medea? Is that what you trying to say?
Yeah. She called and said from third show on, I couldn't do it. Could not do it. Because I knew that
conviction. That's what that is.
That it was young listeners, it was church members, whoever that was listening, they didn't want to hear that. So I commend that person for calling in. I thank her for calling in, just to give me a wake up call, because I was so. I just assumed that you can do this on the air, but a lot of people don't want to hear that, and it just makes you look. Just make you look bad. So
yes, because when they see you, and it's just, I wonder when they open their mouth what they gonna say.
Exactly. Exactly.
And me, you have your C's. When people see you, throw them C's up.
Yeah, it's the trademark.
Yeah.
C.
For me, it's my teeth, because everybody sees my teeth. It's that big smile. Oh, I know who that is. Yes,
Lady Blue.
That's Lady Blue. And I mean. And I'll focus on that for a little bit, but in a little bit, not for a little bit, but in a little bit. Because as a personality, you have your own personal demons that you have to deal with.
Yes.
Okay? It's not just coming in and dealing with the crazy radio and the crazy, electronics and this, that, and the other. You have your own personal demons that you have to deal with. And it's like a little clip I saw from D.L. Hughley when he did a radio show, and he was talking about his cousin who was a drug addict, and he wanted to help his cousin. And cousin, that was his favorite cousin, loved his cousin to death, would go to the ends of the earth and back. Wow. But he had to let people know, it says, you can't put your demons on hold to go solve everybody else's issue. Say, just hold on for a minute. Just put that evil on hold. I'm going to run over here and do what I got to do over here, and I'll be right back, and we can pick up where we left off. Okay. It's a constant. And that's something that I've noticed. You go to bed and wake up, and all that's going to be right there.
Yes.
How do you de-stress, or how do you decompress when you come out of a radio show?
I'm still on the high.
You've been high for 4 years.
Yes.
Okay.
I'm still on a high.
I'm a little woke now.
I'm still on a high, but to answer your question, when I go home, I'm relaxed, and I feel good that the interview went well, the guest was pleased. The interaction from the listeners, the feedback on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, it's joyful, and that would bring me to a level where I did my job.
Right.
I'm good. Now, if it was not a good interview, that I had to cut the interview short because people don't talk, or people don't follow directions as they are told, it would still leave like a sour taste in my mouth, but not so bad. At the end of the day, when I go home, I still did my job. Right. I still did what I set out to do. Okay. It wasn't as effective, but then again, the flip side is, how can I make that better? How can I turn that situation into a better show next week?
Right.
If it was bad.
Right.
So to answer your question, how do I, come down or de-stress? I wouldn't even say de-stress.
Well, you've been high for 4 years. Obviously, you still floating.
Still in rehab.
Yeah.
I'm still
Get my baby.
See it? Busy. I wouldn't call it stress. I love what I do. even so, when I go home, I'm thinking of next week's show.
Okay.
How can I improve how can I make next week's show better than this week's show? So that's my thought when I go home. How can I improve? What did I do wrong? Always dissecting, looking at new ways to increase or just make it better.
Well, I like that. I do. I like that. And he's sitting over here looking at me goofy. I would tell y'all I'm sleepy. I'm just being honest with you. I'm sleepy. But I was so excited to be up in here, to be on my first day. I even got in the cab on the way here, and the cab driver was like, "Oh, I got somebody famous in my car. Sign this." I'm like, "Man, that's the credit card slip. What you mean sign this?"
We was about to have a radio show outside. We was ready, Beezy.
Hey, look, I'm a walking zombie, but I'm back.
That's right. Beezy came with all pistols open. She pulling on that door, open the door.
And she was like, "I'm gonna get this door open,"
she
but
said,
little
get in here at 9 o'clock.
But little do Beezy know, the boots that she had on, I'm gonna get them. When she turned her back.
She passed out. She in trouble.
I just take her shoes.
I'm about to say, wait a minute, because I got my shoes off right now.
Yup, there it is.
They look about my size too, boy. Got the beef and broccoli.
There it is. Oh my goodness. You know what, Edigga, I just love you so much. I know I've ever told you that before. You my boy and all, and you're very supportive. I think that's another thing that I love about you, is that you're supportive. When you see something that can go further than it is, I've seen you get behind it, and you will, you stay with it. And it's just like, it's like being with, that person. You get in there, you see what they're doing, you encourage, you do what you do. And I don't know how many times I done called you asking, is this okay? Should I do this?
It comes with experience. None of it. I'm always willing to help. I think that's going to be on my tombstone. I'm always willing to help. And anybody, Linnea can tell you.
Mm-hmm.
She 6 o'clock in the morning, 5 o'clock in the morning, I'm asking questions, or what can I do to do this? I never get mad. It's just in my nature to help. If I can help somebody,
Right.
and I live by this, if I can help somebody, my living won't be in vain. And that's what I live by. I love it.
I'm trying to picture how they're gonna put that on your. You want it like an arch, or do you want it straight across, or
in italic bold?
you want it like, oh, okay.
Yeah, so with a picture underneath.
Italic bold. Okay.
Listen, you thought long and hard about this.
No. Just now. I ain't going nowhere. No time. Easy.
Look, this is what's going to happen. So y'all need to know what's going to happen.
That's what's going to happen if I take your beef and broccoli. Be in the tombstone.
I might just slide my boots to the right a little bit.
Oh my goodness. Well, you know what? I got plenty of more questions for you.
Okay. I'm ready.
And when we come back, I'm gonna ask you those questions. I'm gonna tell you what they are. I'm gonna ask you those questions, and they gonna be good.
Good.
Yes, right in there.
Yeah.
Good. Right in there. Good. Everybody, this is Lady Blue Radio Show on WMSKOnlineRadio.com. Talk radio just got better. Welcome back. We here. This is Lady Blue coming back at you, and I'm here with my special guest, Edigga, the man y'all know and love from Charm City Direct Radio Show. But before I get started, what you doing on March 19th?
I am supposed to be going to this party.
It's just
Man, what is it? The radio station WMSK online radio.
It's a movie. It's not just a party. It's a movie.
It's a movie?
It's a movie.
Yeah, I'm going to that.
Okay, well.
It's like, no, I'm going to. Let me liven up before I get that call from Tia.
We're going to pick this up, darling. We want y'all to join WMSK Online Radio for their 3rd anniversary party. That's Saturday, March 19th. Mark that calendar. Get that calendar out. Mark it. 10 p.m. at Club Oxygen. 10 South Calvert Street in Baltimore, 21201. Advance tickets are $15. You got $15?
I think I got $15.
All right, $15.
Yes.
And you can get, they're going to be more at the door. So if you want an advance ticket, you better get to getting. Okay? Get to getting. Bottle service is going to be available. And for more information, you can contact 443-814-1337. Again, that's March 19th. You got that calendar?
Yeah, I'm doing it now.
All right. He's on the Android. Boop. There it is, March 19th.
Got it.
All right. We're going to get back to talking with the man y'all know and love, Edigga. We're going to dive into something that's near and dear to my heart, and that's domestic violence. And I stated in the beginning, I'm a domestic violence survivor, so domestic violence is huge for me. And one thing I want to say about domestic violence is that domestic violence, it has the same basis, but it doesn't turn out the same for everybody. Okay, you have some that get out, stay out. You have some that get out, go back. You have some that don't get out at all.
Wow.
And I want to ask you, have you ever been subject or in the presence of anyone that has been involved or a victim of domestic violence?
I'm going to say yes. A long time ago, I saw the signs. I was young, but I knew what was going on. I really didn't see it. I heard it. But I believe I was a teenager, and even when I called the first time, called the authorities, the woman who were being a victim of it, she lied to save herself, to save the marriage. But it was evident. I mean, you saw the scars, you saw the bruises. And I didn't understand at that time. I said, man, he's beating you up. I mean, get some help. But later on, she told me, she said, it's not that easy.
It's not that easy.
It's not that easy to get away.
Right.
I felt bad because, again, I'm a helper by nature. You know, I want all to save the world. But
y'all don't see Superman yet.
Yeah. You'll see it on Facebook. I wanted to help, but I couldn't. And I didn't know how. You know, should I be a pest about it, keep calling the authorities, or just listen to her, knowing that she's not okay, but maybe she has a bigger plan. So to answer your question, yes. Okay,
because you never know what the situation is behind the closed doors. And I'm glad you brought up the fact that, you know, she told a story. Most that are involved in domestic violence stay out of fear.
Yes.
Okay. And I think the one thing that we have to look at, and we can't ignore it, is we have to look at just in the last month, just in the last week, a young police officer was just killed going to a domestic violence on her first day of work. First day of work. She didn't even got out the car and this man blew her away. Shot 2 other officers, but this young lady died. You had another, I think it was down in Atlanta, a major responded to a domestic violence call. Okay. Domestic violence situations are some of the most volatile situations that are out there, because you don't know the mindset. You want to diffuse the situation. That's all of us. All of us want to help. And like you said, it's very easy to say just get out, because we're not in the situation. But when you're in that kind of situation, the first thing that comes to your mind is like you feel them eyes behind you burning into the back of your head going, say something. just all you gotta do is say the one word, and then that person's going to put on their mask, and they're gonna walk up and they're gonna be all nice. It's like, it's okay, you know, we just had a little bit of a tip, we're gonna straighten it out. And in the back of your mind going, I need to find a closet, a locked door, something, because if I don't get behind a closed door, he's gonna kill me.
Yes.
Okay. Yes. So it's easier said than done. And I think the other thing that, you know, police are victims too in this instance. The other thing that has to be noted is that children are victims, okay, because of what they see. And sometimes that violence is turned towards them. And not because they had anything to do with it. It's just because they happen to be there. Okay. Now, let me ask you another question.
Sure.
Most of the time when you hear domestic violence, what's the first thing that comes to your mind?
Women.
Okay. And now that you know a little bit more, what do you know about that now?
It's not always the case. Men can be victims as well.
Yeah. You got some women out there that can, they can go Ronda Rousey in a minute, okay? And all you gotta do is say the wrong thing, and
I've seen that too. A man being victimized, and it was not pretty.
Right.
It was not pretty.
Right. And it's gonna take a lot longer for a man to come forward, and the reason is like a man being emasculated like that. That's
pride.
hard.
Yeah,
that's
pride.
Hard. Degraded, emasculated, just taken out of what has been built up for him to be a man, the provider. He's and he's becoming the victim. And domestic violence, of course, spreads not just in heterosexual households; it spreads across the LGBT community as well.
Yes.
The rate of violence, and we're not talking just the slap across the face or the bruise on the arm from being grabbed. We're talking about somebody getting beat down to the point that they're in a coma. Lucky for myself, I got out of a situation like that before it got to that. But mind you, the first time I got hit, they had to slow me down because he jumped on the hood of the car and I was down the freeway with him on the hood of the car.
Wow.
And everybody screaming, "Stop the car!" I was like, "No, no, he's not gonna hit him." But when you walk into the emergency room and you're in there, your eyes swollen. I suffered not a fracture, but it was close to a fractured eye socket.
Wow.
Swollen jaw, fat lip. I couldn't hear out of the right side of my head for a few weeks, and I didn't go home. I stayed 2 weeks with my friend.
Wow.
Because I'm daughter of a police officer, and I knew my dad was gonna go ballistic if I went home like that. And when I walked in the house and had sunglasses on, and he just looked at me, just like, "You inside the house? Take them sunglasses off." I'm like, "No, Dad, it's bright." I was, my dad, you don't wear sunglasses. Take them. I took the sunglasses off, and it took everything for me to stop a 6'3", 200-pound man from going out the door to go find this person. Now, mind you, fast forward, justice served itself. But I guess my question to you is now, when you see a situation like that, how do you react now versus how you reacted when you didn't know anything?
I think I want to say the same because it all depends on the person. What can you do? As opposed to if they need your help, they don't need your help. Right. It's kind of funny. Yeah, I mean, if the person offers, or if I'm offering help and the person said, "Yeah, get me out of here," I'm going to do everything it takes for me to get that person out.
Right.
But it all depends on the person.
Right.
If they're willing to accept the help, I'm all for it. Hey, let's go.
Right.
And one other situation, it was years ago. We had to go and almost rescue a church member. We had to wait for the husband to leave, and it was quick. We had to put her out. We didn't know what was going on. We kind of what was going on. We didn't know what was going on. We knew enough. And when they said to me, like, "Hey, we need you to help move so and so," I said, "Oh, okay." And we all went there. Of course, she was crying. Police presence was there. We went in, moved the stuff. Everything is fine. But I kind of like put two and two together, So that situation right there, she's been going through this for a minute. She was tired of it. She wanted out.
Right.
So it all depends on the person. If they want the help, by all means, let's go. But if they don't, need the help, what more can you do?
Right.
As opposed to, I don't know, I'm good.
Right.
And then trying to offer and offer, you know, don't be a pest about it. I mean, it's kind of sad, you know, that you got to think like that. But, I mean, if they don't want the help,
Right.
what can you do? You can't force it on them.
Right.
What can you do?
Right. Well, you have to also consider you don't want to put yourself in a volatile
Exactly.
situation, get yourself hurt.
Exactly.
I've been in situations recently where, you know, you kind of become that go-between.
Yeah.
And you don't want to get yourself hurt, but you just look at it, it's like, you know, just cut it right here. Because when the police get here, it's going to be a whole nother ball of wax.
Yeah.
And the thing about domestic violence that I've discovered for myself and with people that I've talked to and helped before is that they've got to reach their final sick and tired.
Exactly.
And that's exactly the way it was explained to me. When you reach your final sick and tired of being sick and tired of being sick and tired,
Mm-hmm.
that's when you're going to act. And there's nothing that the other person can do because they don't know what to do with the person that's got, you know, some to them now. They deal with the person that doesn't have any gumption.
Yes.
And that was the same thing I did with my abuser. When I reached my final sick and tired, I stood toe to toe with him and I told him swing. And of course he sat there and looked at me, don't tempt me. I said, I'm not tempting you, I'm telling you, swing.
Use your chance.
Swing. Do what you got to do so I can get the heck up out of here because I'm done. Okay, of course he didn't believe it because he stalked me for like 30 days after that. You know. But the point of the matter is that I made my case known. I gave him prime opportunity. You want to swing? Go ahead. Here I am. Ain't nothing stopping me. Not a wall, not a kid, not nothing.
Wow.
Did he swing? No, because he didn't know what to do with that.
Mm-hmm.
Now, mind you, that was my situation. I'm not out here telling anybody, you know, when you hit your final sick and tired, stand toe to toe and dare them. No, that's not what I'm telling you. I'm saying that's what worked for me. There's help out there. You've got to reach out for the help.
Yes.
You don't reach out for the help. Men, women, children. There are plenty of people out there willing to help, but you've got to be the one to reach out and say, I'm done.
Mm-hmm.
I can't take it anymore.
Mm-hmm.
I want my life back, whatever that may be. Okay, you want to see your family, you want to see your friends, you want to see whoever. You need the friendly smile, but you know you have to break the tie. Something like I always tell my daughter, who happens to be with me here in the studio today.
She in the cut.
I can't. There she is.
She in the
But
cut.
is that you know you it's never easy to talk about this situation because we know it's still going on as we speak.
Yes.
And when you see it, we all want to be Superman. We all want to be Wonder Woman. We want to go in there and save the day. But we also have to consider all the legal ramifications that come along with it. Because people throw a lawsuit on you today just if you blink at them with the wrong eyelash. So,
wow, that's crazy.
Again, you've got to, consider. If your spirit leads you to do it,
yes, by
all means. But if your spirit doesn't lead you to do it, don't go in there and, no, we don't want to be reading about you on the news. Yes, men or women, it really doesn't matter.
Yeah. You
can go to the domestic violence hotline, the national, not necessarily just the one in your area, the national. The national will put you in touch with whoever you need to talk to, because domestic violence can lead to things like depression, suicidal thoughts, manic depression, bipolar. You'd be surprised. This stuff just walks up on all these other things that we have going on, mental health and physical health. So if you're in a domestic violence situation, I just implore you, get help. You can contact me. I'll put you somewhere, okay, to have somebody help you. I had somebody from North Carolina contact me. I was jumping through hoops trying to figure out who in North Carolina. I live in Baltimore. I don't know nobody in North Carolina. But I made it a point to put her in touch with somebody. Now, mind you, I have not heard back from this person. But I knew that I at least put her in touch with someone. And men, if you're in this type of situation where you're either feeling emasculated, being emasculated, going through violence, okay, we all know, and everybody says it, don't put your hands on a woman. Well, turn that around. Don't put your hands on anybody, okay?
I live by that creed. And another thing is, guys, sometimes, no offense, women drive you to that point. there's other ways to channel that energy. You know, walk away, turn around,
Yes.
do a puzzle.
And walk out. Go paint a wall.
Yeah.
I don't care what you do. Build a whole new room.
Walk the block. I mean, there's other ways to, and then the common situation. Shout out to Bryan, who the author of Where There's a Will, There's a Way, out in Detroit. She wrote a book about her 20-year struggle with domestic violence, and if my memory serves me correctly, her husband or ex-husband was an alcoholic, and alcoholism plays a part in that too. When they get belligerently drunk, they want to strike, or just have that fighting instinct when you get drunk. So that plays a part. Know your limit. I'm not saying, you know, sip and that's it, but just know your limit. If you know that you are abusive when you drink, men and women, then I'm laughing, but just don't be around people. You know, if you are that drunk, how can you get that drunk? And
some
when
of
you're
the best drunks don't even know they drunk.
But what?
Just tie it on and keep going.
I hit somebody last night. Oh my goodness! But how do you get that drunk? You know, so that's the thing. It's like, think before you take that drink, and know that if you're combative when you're drunk, you don't need to be around people. You know?
Right, or the other person just they done picked up the bottle. You know what? I'm taking the kids. We going over to Nana's house for about 5 hours.
Or
until
drink,
you finish,
or just
you
drink Coke.
There you go.
Coke.
Nothing in it.
It's the real thing.
Yes.
You know, but no, on a serious note, yes, if you need the help, find the help, get the help. It's out there for you. There's those of us that are willing to put you in touch with those who can help you, and you have to let the system work. That's the biggest thing. Patience is a virtue in this instance, and you've got to let the system work. Now we're gonna hop a little bit, and we're gonna talk about the violence in Charm City, and not just Charm City, but we can look across the nation and across the world. The violence is getting out of hand.
Really.
And when I say out of hand, I'm talking about you sitting on your porch, you enjoying this unusually beautiful weather we've been having lately. And next thing you know, everybody running trying to get you to the hospital, and you trying to figure out what's going on. People are just shooting just to shoot. They're not taking into account, even if it's the wrong or the right person they're trying to shoot. They're just shooting to shoot. And lately it's been children. Not adults, it's been children, okay? Especially the violence in schools. Are you kidding me? What are you so mad at that you got to go and you got to take that kind of aggression and anger out and just say, oh, I just felt like shooting? Well, you know, my grandma would say, how about if you go get that switch off that branch outside and I just feel like beating your behind? Okay. How you feel about that? But talk to me, Edigga. The youth violence, and we're going to bring in that line at Mondawmin, too, about them Jordans. That's a pair of shoes, people. And see, even my little boy hit me up the other day. Mama, if I save enough money, can I get these LeBrons? I looked square at him. I said, boy, by the time those LeBrons get here, you're going to be a whole nother shoe size bigger. I am not spending that kind of money. Okay? And BZ, I want your input on this too. The youth violence is ridiculous. And we're going to start with the Mondawmin situation with the Jordans. That line was wrapped around tighter than a cobra ready to strike for people wanting a pair of shoes that half of them didn't even get.
Yeah, I honestly, I think it's a continuing cycle of mental slavery that our youth are in. They are still mentally enslaved and are still brainwashed to a lot of things.
Okay.
And they're going to continue the cycle until something changes. Like they can probably gonna do the same thing for iPhones. And if Jordans come out tomorrow, they're going to still be in the line. It's still kind of that, I still partial like that Willie Lynch syndrome a little bit. And I think that they're suffering from from a lot of just brainwashed and still caught up in a hype.
I agree with that, and I also think it's a lot of pacification on the parents' part, because if you notice, a lot of parents, what do they do when the children gets on their nerves? Here, go turn on TV. Here, play with mama's phone. Okay. Here's the iPad. You got 3-year-olds that can work an iPad better than the person that bought it. Okay. And that don't make no sense. So that goes on in line with what you're saying. It's a slavery thing. Okay. The latest iPhone. When you see a 13-year-old walk around with a $700 phone, to me, that's a problem.
Yeah.
That's a problem, because a 13-year-old does not need a $700 phone. A 13-year-old does not need a pair of $200 Uggs or $300 whatevers, or whatever the latest jeans are, or sunglasses or whatever. And I'm sorry, ladies, the hair too. Okay? If you got to blow your rent just to put a weave in your head, get your priorities straight. And that's the Lady Blue stamp of approval. Don't go out there and spend your rent money on your hair. Okay? That can wait. Comb it back, put some gel on it, put some pink lotion on it, whatever you got to do, make it look snazzy.
Ponytail is
wet, twisted, bun it, do whatever you got to do. We all want to look good, yes. But just like Beezy just said, we're slaves to what society is putting in front of us. And to me, they're pacifying, okay? Because they're giving you everything to make you happy, so we don't have to hear the little kids in the corner in the playground while we go out here and do whatever we doing. Okay, so now, see, Digga, it's your turn. What is your view on the violence that's going on with the youth, starting with the Mondawmin situation and carrying on?
I think the violence. Well, let's start with the shoes, the Jordans. That line was just ridiculous. But here's my take on it. And I know you said you don't want to get political,
right,
but I'm gonna take you there for a little bit. Here's my thought.
There's a church song for that too. Take me back. Okay. Take me back.
Here's my thought. The mayoral election is coming up. Is that line going to be that long?
Amen.
The voting of the president. Now, like I said, it's going to boil down to this: Donald Trump, Hillary Clinton. Is that line going to be that long? And I'm talking about young people.
Right.
Young people now. What is it? 18. You can
18.
vote. Okay. Here are two different scenarios of an election compared to shoes.
Right.
Elections is going to make a difference. Finding a job, is that line going to be that long?
Right.
To get a job.
Right.
I can understand it if that was a line at a Target over there. What is it? TGI Fridays that's over there.
$10 app. $10. You can go get your things.
What if that was that line? I would applaud that every day, all day, if it was that situation.
Okay.
Situation. Excuse me. But these are shoes. You're gonna wear the shoes, and then they're gonna get dirty.
Right.
You spend all of that money for them shoes. And little do people know that those 12s came out a couple years ago. All he did was paint them. They're black. The first ones that came out was black and white. It was a white upper, and the mid part was black. Didn't know that, people, did you? Didn't know that. Do your research. All he's doing with these and granted, Michael Jordan was the greatest player that ever lived by far. I love Michael Jordan. I am not going to Google over that man's shoes. I'm sorry. Now, here's another thing.
I don't even own a pair.
I own 3. I'm about to get rid of a pair.
I don't own one pair.
I own 2 pairs.
Because like I said, I feel like it's more of a mental slavery type of
Exactly.
situation. So I refuse to indulge.
Right.
Exactly.
And that's just basically I refuse to support it. So I don't have a pair of Jordans. And people looking like, what you have? No, I don't have one. I still look good, but I don't care. Like, I'm not going to be part of the mental slavery of our youth and of our generation. So I'm going to keep on moving.
And I think that, if anything, we got all these clothing designers out here, underground.
Right.
Create a shoe. If it's that bad, you want people to stand in line for your shoe.
Right.
I mean, real talk.
I'll knit you a blanket. You can get a blanket.
you're only making that man richer, and it's not only him. It's him. It's LeBron. It's whatever current shoe that's out now. You're only making that person rich.
Right.
You know, create your own shoe.
Remember when it was Air Force Ones?
Oh my God.
Ooh, Air Force said no. I don't know none of them. I'm happy
Air
I
Force
got
Ones.
sketches on my feet.
And that's the thing. I'm not even current with my current shoes. I mean, you see what I got on. Converse all
And he
day,
looked
every
nice
day.
too. Don't
Thank
get it twisted. He look good.
Thank you.
Okay, anyway.
But it's like Beezy said, it's that mental state. You know, just because he got them, I gotta have them. Just like with iPhones. I mean, no 4-year-old, 3-year-old child needs a phone. I ran into a situation. Two they brothers and sisters. One was 3, one was 4, or they could have been a little bit older. They pulled out a phone bigger than mine, and I was like, "Stop playing." They pulled it out of their pocket. It was like, "Here, mama, hold this." I'm like, "Stop." So it I don't understand it. It's just, I don't care what everybody else is wearing. I just know what I can afford, what I can buy. It looks nice. Carry on. You know, but
Right.
I go back to, if these lines is going to be longer like that, we will see. I am definitely looking forward to it. Election day, there's no excuse.
Right.
Job opportunities, no excuse.
Right.
Because if you can stand in the line, come on, that line was ridiculous. It was wrapped around the mall.
It was wrapped. It was
But
wrapped.
not only that, I'm gonna say this and I'm gonna be quiet. The incident that happened,
Right.
the first dude that was in line, he went in, got his, and what happened? Couple thugs
Somebody wanted the
came
freebie.
out, stabbed this boy in the face 4 times. Yes, 4 times, and took him.
Freebie.
Freebie.
Yeah.
Beezy didn't know that.
No, I didn't.
Yes.
And that's why her boots is all the way over in the corner. She like, not taking shit.
Let me move these from Edigga. Yes, that's what happened. The line, he was first one in line. He was first one to go in to get him. He came out, 4 little thugs, waited, perfect opportunity. They scoped him out just as soon as he walked in the store. Got him, came out, came out, took him, bam.
Right. Right.
So if you got to go through those extremes to get shoes, wow.
Right. And we gonna straighten out a little bit of facts here because Miss Connoisseur. Okay. No, we all know that Michael Jordan, getting our facts straight, he doesn't own Jordan anymore. He just owns the name. Okay. So he owns his name. He doesn't own the company. Okay. And the whole thing is saying Prada, Gucci, all the white-owned companies are doing the same thing. Okay. You get all that money. You good, black man. Go ahead, keep your name. Give me the company. Okay. And that's how I'm gonna do it. And then we know, and Miss Connoisseur is letting us know, the line was that long because of only the certain amount in the store. They're not gonna carry 5,000 pair for 5,000 people to show up at that store, but because of the limited amount, people were there.
And I hear what you're saying, Tia. I hear what you're saying. Regardless of the fact, why should a line be that long? Right. I don't care about the number. I don't care about the name. Why should a line be that long? Right. And this is not the first. This is not the first time. There's many a times when the same shoe comes out. And yes, Tia, she
with the logo on the other side of
she's
the
gonna
tongue
call
of the
that
shoe.
because she's an advocate.
Yes.
She's an avid Jordan wearer.
Yes.
So my point is, Tia, is that the line do not have to be that long, whether you had 50, 100, or just 50. Why should that line be that long? Do lines be that long for jobs? Do lines be that long for elections? That's the point that I'm trying to make. Don't wake up and say, "Oh, I'm gonna get in that line for them Jordans." Oh, I don't know about that.
It's not just Jordans. It's when you get the new gaming system that comes out.
Sure, everything.
Remember when Mary J. Blige new shades came out? They was lined up at Towson Town Center like it was for what, $400, $500, $600 sunglasses.
Concert
Come on.
tickets.
Yep.
Exactly.
And Tia says, so the farmer's market lines are that long too. So
okay, all right.
But no, the whole point of it is that society is feeding us, and when I say us, the consumer.
Yes.
Okay, they're feeding us, and we jumping right on it. Okay, all for. And they even had it on Facebook where somebody took the same shoe, same color, and just switched the logo on it.
I saw that.
And it's like, okay, hello, you
I
getting
saw
the
that.
same shoe, you bought into the logo.
I saw that.
And it's the same thing when you go and you buy your food. It's the same thing when you go buy Prada, Gucci, even Louis Vuitton. You can go out and get your Louis fake and still look good. But see, the Louis aficionado's going to tell you, I know that's not a Louis. And they'll be able to tell you why. Okay, because the stitching goes a certain way, and they only bring it together a certain way. Okay, we got all of that. But why go broke over something that you're not going to wear but a certain amount of time?
Thank you.
Okay? I'm thrifty Missy. I will hit the thrift store in a hot second, okay? And not think twice about it. Okay? I know I'm not gonna go out there. Yeah, I got this at the thrift store. You darn skinny.
And that's what I mean. It's like what change is a pair of Jordans, a Louis belt, an iPhone, what else? Concert tickets. You're going to see that person one time. You probably, if you get good tickets.
The Beyonce tickets. I about fell over when I saw what people were paying.
That's what I'm saying.
2 tickets.
The nosebleeds. The nosebleeds
Yes.
alone was like $300.
Yep.
And she's looking like an ant on stage, and you up there trying to get binoculars for $375. Come on, that's rent. That's a car note. So you just blew a car note on seeing Beyonce.
Yeah,
that's what I'm saying.
It's more than a car note. Some people, what was the one that I don't care if it was fake or not. Girlfriend put out there that she went and had to borrow money from grandma.
Oh no.
Okay,
it's not,
and proudly put the price of the tickets. Took a screenshot. $10,000 for 2 tickets to sit in the 30 rows or 3 rows. Girlfriend, you know what I could have done
not
for
that serious.
$10,000? $10,000. I'd have paid my rent for a year with that. My kids be swimming in shoes. Kids, no, Buster Brown, whatever you did, they would be. No, and I'm sorry, Beyonce got some good, but Beyonce is not knocking on my door going, girlfriend, let me take care of some of your bills for you.
Exactly.
No.
Exactly.
Okay, Apple, same way. Thank you, Tia. Apple's worse than Jordan lines when the new Apple phone comes out. People act like if I don't have, I can't stand iPhone. I don't even have an iPhone.
I had an iPhone. It did its purpose. The bill was too high, so I converted back over to.
I deal with my iPad, and I even don't like that. But we're buying into a label.
Yes.
And if you just open your eyes, you can see that you can get the same. All you gotta do is take the time, flip that little package over, and you're gonna see the same information on Senor generic brand. Okay, from the grocery store to the foot store, you're gonna see all of that. Okay. Whew. That's a hot topic, okay? Because we go in on that one. But you know what? We're going to take a little bit of a break. I'm going to get me some water because I've been talking like crazy. And we're going to come back and we're going to hit on some more subjects. And we just going to let it flow and see what happens in here with the man y'all know and love.
That's me.
That's him. Edigga. And it's the Lady Blue Radio Show on WMSK Online Radio, where talk radio just got better. Welcome back. It's Lady Blue, the Lady Blue Radio Show, here with my special guest, Edigga, the man you all know and love. Whoop. You know what? I haven't been jewelry shopping in a while. I need to go do some jewelry shopping.
Where you gonna go?
I'm going to Bay Jewelers. That's where I'm going. Okay. The entire store is on sale with up to 70% off. 70. Not 50, not 60, but 70% off. That diamond earrings starting at $49.99. Michael Kors watches starting at $159.99. Free diamond stud earrings with the purchase of $299 and up. No money down, no credit check. Everyone is approved. Bay Jewelers, that's conveniently located at Marley Station Mall, 7900 Ritchie Highway, Glen Burnie, Maryland, 21061. For more information, you can call 443-354-3173. Bay Jewelers. Go get you the deal. And we're going to get back a little bit to what we were just talking about with the violence with the youth, especially in the high schools. We were just talking about the shoe situation and the corporate America situation when it comes to blacks. There was one, I go back to Facebook because, yes, I use Facebook, okay? I use Facebook. And I saw an interesting post, and it saw a hot dog. Very nicely dressed hot dog. Had ketchup, relish, mustard. Looked very nice. And in one corner, the hot dog was priced $5 up in this corner. And it showed a white gentleman. Okay? So $5. Gladly paid the $5 and asked for a bag of chips and 2 sodas to go along with it. Paid the $5. Went over there to the Middle Eastern. Okay? He charged only $3.75. Okay. Bag of chips, 2 sodas. Here you $3.75. I ain't arguing with you. Okay? I said the Asian. He's selling the hot dog $4. $4 for a hot dog. Throw some chips in there and 2 cans of soda. Now here your $4. Now, you go to the black person say, I need $4 for that hot dog. What are you, crazy? I ain't paying $4 for no hot dog. I go to the store and get a whole pack of hot dogs for $4. And a can of soda and some chips to top that off. What's wrong with that picture? We buying into society. We'll chew out our own for trying to do the same thing, but we'll give it up. Okay? And that's the same thing when it comes to people that are in business for themselves. When you're in business for yourselves and you selling the same thing that somebody gonna go run to Walgreens for, they swear you trying to throw one over on them. Okay, Johnson & Johnson sell the same thing. It's just a different name. Here you go.
Well, take it over there to Johnson & Johnson. That's what you want to say.
But it's to me, if I can make it at home, if I can get it less expensive, but know what if I can't pronounce it, I'm not buying it. Because even the simplest sandwich got so much in it. It's not just a bun, chicken, and pickles. It's sodium chloride, whatever, in the quantities that are allowable for human consumption. Well, why would you want to give me something that over the years is going to kill me anyway?
Wow.
Why? I don't get that.
It's crazy. It's crazy how business. That's how we think. Some of us. I'm not going to say all.
Right.
Just like you described, the white person, the other person, I had no problem paying the amount, but when they come to our people, boy.
Yep. We need the good. Give me the better. Give me the discount. I wish I could have got the discount when I bought it. I can't get that discount. But that's a situation we can talk all day.
It's the homeboy hookup.
Yes.
In this society, the homeboy hookup, the discount. I killed the homeboy hookup. I don't know if y'all remember last year I killed them. I'm going on the record and say I killed them because it's old. It gets old. If think about it, people. I mean, some of these people are in business for themselves, and this is how they eat. This is how they live. And you coming in, only us. It's some of us. I'm not going to say all.
Right.
But the first thing out of their mouth, and don't walk into a black establishment just because I'm the same color as you. I see what you have. I like it. You gonna. And it's already at a discounted rate. You going to get another discount on a discount? Like, where they do that at?
I get it for $0. No. I wish BGE would do that.
Like bargain betting.
Can I have this month's BGE for $0?
Exactly. So I don't understand it. Like, pay that amount. Pay that amount. If you don't like it, don't argue about it. Go somewhere else. Because you was paying
it before you knew that person.
If you walk in the same store, same setup, white person behind that counter.
Right.
and that pack of hot dogs or that scarf or what have you is $5. You're not going to look at that white man and say, "Oh, can I get the homeboy hookup?" You're not going to do it.
Right.
You're not going to do it. So shut up, pay the price. Now, like I said, some instances where but slim chance of some will kind of offer you a discount.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? It's a place over in Mondawmin right now. It's a clothing store, Leatherman. They will offer you a discount off of the price, right off the break.
Right.
Because in my mind, I think they trying to get rid of it. So they say, "Hey, what you got?"
Right.
No, I don't know.
But
I give it to you for $80.
You also have those places that will, when they see you as a loyal customer, because it's always nice to walk into a place and they see you all the time. They know you're going to pay.
Exactly.
They don't have an issue with you. And it doesn't matter whether you're white, black, Asian, Hispanic. It don't matter.
Exactly.
If you're loyal and that's where you go and that's where you spend your money, okay, they may just get that good feeling one day and say, "You know what, I'm going to give that to you for half off because you're always in here and you always do right by me and I ain't got no problems with you."
I see your face. You don't give me a hassle.
Right.
That's what I'm talking about.
Right.
But you coming in there making a disturbance, trying to get the homeboy hookup off of a homeboy hookup.
With a homeboy hookup.
With a homeboy hookup. With your homeboy with you.
That did the hookup.
That did the hookup. With the red tag.
Oh.
It ain't gonna work, people.
Right.
I killed the homeboy. I shot him.
I shot the sheriff.
But I didn't shoot the deputy.
He had the homeboy hookup. Okay, anyway. But yeah, we we gonna leave that alone because we could be on that subject from here to eternity.
Yes.
Because there's so much going on out there. We've touched on a lot of subjects, not everything, but a lot of subjects that we got a variance of opinions on, and I love the opinions. And what I want to touch on in coming towards the end of the show is, do you see the positivity coming out of Baltimore? In other words, Baltimore kind of returning a little bit more to its glory days, because you had mentioned in the past few days how just you walk across the street and you're in a whole nother world in Baltimore. It's just like, wait a minute, I live here?
Mount Vernon.
And then you go back across the street, it's like,
back in Crackhead Land.
Crackhead City. I'm back.
Yes.
I'm back.
To answer your question, Lady Blue, yes. But it boils down to the leadership. Who's going to be the next leader or the next individual to take Baltimore back to reality? And just to dwell on what I was talking about as far as the city, Mount Vernon. If y'all, and I'm not saying it's paradise, but it's peaceful.
It's beautiful.
It's beautiful. Once you cross that line to Charles Street and go back, oh
just
my,
the block, the whole block.
It is so peaceful. People are like smiling. We was taking a picture. Man walks up like, "Give me your phone. I'll take the picture for you."
And didn't steal it.
And didn't walk away with it. He took the picture. Here, y'all have a good day. That. You step over that line, Charles Street, back in the Crackhead Land. Wow.
You better break your arm to take your picture. You're not gonna get that phone back.
You gotta have a chain on your phone. Like, all right, brother, give me my phone back.
You got that GoPro, get that dustpan. Okay? Just sit it in there and go.
That's what I mean. Is about the leadership, the mayor, whoever this person is. I really strongly believe that this person is going to bring us back to Baltimore, to reshape Baltimore, to change the mindset of Baltimoreans. It boils down to the next mayor. Sheila Dixon.
Okay.
Sheila Dixon.
But it's not just here mayoral wise. It's council wide. It's up there in Annapolis wide, all the way up to the White House wide. And I'm gonna leave that alone because see, we get to talk about politics. Ain't none of us getting out of here because I know everyone sitting in this room, even Sleepyhead over there, Beezy, got an opinion about this presidential race, and I don't even want to talk about it because I know when we get out of here, that's all we're going to be inundated with all day long. And I personally don't want to talk about the man. I want to commend Barack Obama for putting up with the BS for 8 years. For putting up with it, okay? And not backing down. He did not stutter. He did not lose his place. He spoke with eloquence. He spoke with swagger. Yes, he did. How many presidents walk up out of there and just start with that little pimp walk? Yeah,
and I think that's why they was mad. Because he did not show any signs of emotion. Right. It didn't get to him. He carried on as a president, but they hated that this man walked out with swag. It's like he's not getting mad. Oh, let's do something else. Yep.
And I commend him, and I commend the First Lady. The First Lady showed grace for 8 years, and let me tell you, this country ain't gonna see something like that for quite a while. But you got a First Lady that'll dig down, put on her cleats, and run with the kids, doing a short little football combine. Homegirl got out there with the flag football, and
you will never see that again.
She dances, she lifts weights, she cooks, she gardens. She the all-around Black Martha Stewart. If girlfriend popped out with a pie, I bet you everybody would buy it. And she put Patty in a race for her money. Okay, everybody be buying a Michelle Obama pie. And it don't have to be sweet potato either. It could be rhubarb, and we all go out and get it.
Pecans.
See the pecans. Pecans. But I just want to say on a good note, Edigga, my buddy, my friend, thank you so much for being here and getting me through my first show.
My pleasure.
I tell you, I was white knuckle ready. I was sitting up here, my hands were shaking, my heart was going 55 miles an hour, and I was just like, all I got to do is talk, and that's what I did. I talked. We brought in topics that I didn't even think we were going to talk about, but we talked about it anyway.
That's what's up.
And there's many more that we could talk about. But I want to leave you all with a motivational note, because we see enough negativity throughout our day. And I'm not here to throw the Bible at anybody, and I'm not here to say I know the Bible better than anybody, but I know God's word stands true. And I'm not ashamed to say that, okay? And I hope that everyone can go out there and understand that you may be the only Bible that someone gets today. So smile, talk, laugh, take a moment, and be kind to another human being while you're out there. And also remember that reflects back on you, because you never know, you may be serving an angel that's walking down the street. And you may never see that person again, but the blessing will fall on you when you least expect it. And just to everyone, thank you for those that have tuned in. Thank you to WMSK Online Radio. Thank you to Beezy to being here in her, zombie state to get us through this. Thank you, Beezy, from the bottom of my heart. Okay. From the bottom of my heart, thank you. Thank you to Charm City Direct Radio Show and to Edigga. Thank you to my daughter for sitting back here and just smiling at me the whole time saying, go mama, go mama. And then, and just, y'all, thank you so much for tuning in. And remember, you can find me at LadyBlue1.com. You can find me at The Real Lady Blue 1 on Facebook, Instagram, Lady Blue 1, and that's LadyBluu 1, on Twitter at TH1KMDM09. You can find me on Blastby at Lady Blue 1. And stop by, you can subscribe. If you need to, you can contact me, message me on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, drop me an email, wisdomlady1@gmail.com. And ladies and gentlemen, just remember, weeping may endure for a night, but joy, it does come in the morning. Y'all be blessed.
To motivate's the motivation. It's not the money, it's funny cause it's still motivating. Don't give the haters the cold shoulder, you motivate them to do better, cause maybe then they'll hold the hating. Don't just follow your dreams, man, you gotta chase them. Never follow your heart, man, it's not a racing. Don't wait for God to do the placement. You gotta set it up yourself before he puts his face in. See, if you take one step, he'll take two. And if you move forward, then he'll make moves. Joy comes in the morning, even at night too. So if you need motivation, better call Lady Blue.